All right. What's up, guys? All right. We're here with Plainview. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Ryan, and I play drums.
I'm Steven, I sing. Aaron, I play guitar.
Chris, I also guitar.
All right. So tell me, how did Plainview come together? How did you guys all meet, and how did it all start?
Well, literally, I was a really big fan of Aaron's band in high school and middle school growing up because they were pretty big around our area. And one day in like 2019, Aaron messaged me on Instagram. He's like, "Hey, I like your vocals in your old band. Do you just want to do something for fun in the studio?" And I was like, "You know what? Yeah, let's do it. It sounds like fun." So, we got together, we wrote a couple songs, and it wasn't intended to be a band or anything. We weren't going to play anything live, but the more we wrote together, we were just like, okay, like this kind of works, and everybody contributed like we all play to our strengths. So, like Aaron is very good with melody. I'm very good with like making weird guitar stuff. Crispy is very good at learning how to stretch his hands to the weird parts that Aaron writes. But like we just had so much fun working together, so we were like, why not make this a full-time thing?
So something I've always wondered, hopefully other people are wondered too. What does Plainview mean? What does the word Plainview? How did you guys come up with the name for the project?
So we went through a lot of bad names first, none of which I can remember, but ultimately Crispy and I went out to grab a drink at a table much like this one, and we were sitting down, we were going back and forth a bunch of names, and it was kind of just a music project at the time. Like Steven said, we weren't really sure what we wanted to do with it, and so we were like, well, let's just kind of pick something. And we started talking about movies and music and just a bunch of different stuff, and we ended up talking about There Will Be Blood, which is one of our favorite movies, and the main character's last name in that movie is Plainview. So we kind of stole his last name. And I drink your milkshake.
That's right.
Cool, that's awesome. So if you had to pick one, what's your favorite Plainview song and why? I want to hear from all you guys on this one.
So I want to say the new song, Hey Me, because I actually got to record it.
Mine would be Comacetic, just because it's really energetic live. Like it's a hype song. I like Completely Lonely because I think that melody is I'm so proud of it, and I like the aggressive verses that we were able to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd have to say the First Sip, just because like it's just such a fun and like different song for Plainview, and I just kind of like that when we branch out a little bit, and it's just a lot of fun to play live too.
I like that they were all different. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Who or what inspires you guys to create in general? It could be musician, it could be a movie, a life experience, a person in your life. Just in general, what inspires you to be artistic and creative?
I'll pass it.
Okay. I mean, growing up, I was like no good at school, no good at math or anything like that. The one constant in my life was always music. Like I started playing piano when I was 5. I don't really know how to play anymore, but I know the basics. But I've just been learning different instruments growing up. And then, Green Day is the band that made me want to start playing guitar, which was, I just wanted to learn how to play. I didn't want to be in a band, but I saw My Chemical Romance's live DVD of The Black Parade is Dead when I was in middle school, and that like solidified it for me. I was like, I need to do that, Yeah, for me, I think it's just like I want to be able to give other people the feeling that I had when I was moved by a band for the first time. Like I vividly remember being 13 years old and like putting my earbuds in and like going to mow the lawn and listening to the Translating the Name EP from Seosin, and I was just blown away. And I mean, that was like had been out for years at that point. It was like new to me though, and just the feeling and the inspiration I felt from that, I was like, these are like the coolest guys on the planet. I want to be just like that, and that feeling still carries me to this day.
I'd have to say it's actually like a self-confidence thing where for most of my life I kind of struggled with that, and it wasn't until I picked up a guitar and started to play these songs that like people I idolized, and I'm just like, I'm doing exactly what they're doing, so why can't I do this? So I just kind of want to if we can do something to give that kind of confidence to other people. Like I'm like, all right, let's go for it, let's do it.
So I would say I just feel like everyone kind of needs like an expression, like whether it be in a physical way, you know what I mean? Like for me, like music has always been like that thing. Like when I was a kid, so my grandpa was like a hippie from like Woodstock, right? And like without him, I would never discover like Kiss or like AC/DC. But if it wasn't for those bands, I would never discover like Under Oath and like Seosin and bands like that. But yeah, man, I think it's it's just a creative expression. I think everyone needs to like have that. So
Okay, thanks for sharing, guys. So if there had to be one thing that people took away from either seeing you live or listening to your music in general, what's that one message that you guys are trying to spread? What's the one takeaway you want people to leave with?
You got one? Oh, okay. Honestly, like I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of weird because like when I'm on stage, it's like it's totally different. I'm not me sitting here as Steven. I'm on stage as a part of Plainview, and I don't know. I feel way more comfortable at expressing myself and just being weird. And I just kind of like I want people to see that and be like, just let me be myself. Let me do me. Let's not be so concerned about how other people perceive you and trying to live up to people's expectations. Just be you, be weird.
yeah,
I think for me, it's just that it's about getting out of your comfort zone, right? Like having a reason to get out of your comfort zone. Like, we have, other things that we do, and, we don't necessarily go to the grocery store, with like in full makeup and stuff, but like, having the self-confidence to go out and do that and like, be that for other people and show them, that you can do that, I think is powerful.
I'd have to just say, like, just like have fun, like don't take yourself too seriously. Like, again, like he said, like I'm not going to go to a bank, like wear an eyeliner. So it's like, just be who you feel that you are. And like, we're doing it, so we encourage other people to do it. It's like, screw it, go for it.
So, I know mental health is a huge thing with all of you guys. I know you guys think it's important to to be open about that and talk about it. What can you give any advice to anyone struggling with that, or that struggles with speaking out about it or feeling comfortable in their own skin?
Skip over it again.
I guess so.
Anybody struggling with mental health, like I think my biggest piece of advice would be just don't feel ashamed of it, or like don't feel like it's something that you have to like shy away from. It's natural. Not everybody is constantly happy. Not everybody's living their best life. Just it sucks sometimes, and that's just a part of life. But dealing with mental health issues, it's one thing that might seem like a simple inconvenience to somebody else could send somebody else down into a downward spiral. It's just don't think of it as a handicap or something like that. It's you, but take steps that you should take to get better. There are so many people out there that are willing to help and willing to listen. It's just, I feel like there's such a stigma against speaking out on things with mental health, and I really feel like it should be normalized.
Yeah, I think for me, the big thing that's like helped me the most is knowing that like there's like, we say mental health is like a catch-all term to like organize it, but like everyone's experience is so different and unique. And like I've reached out to every member of Plainview with like things that I struggle with, and asking them to just be my support system for different things. And like they don't struggle with that stuff, but they struggle with other things that I don't struggle with. You know what I mean? So it's like I think everyone in Plainview struggles with mental health. I don't think any of us struggle with it the same way, and letting that be okay. Like acknowledging that, maybe I'm facing this differently than other people, and that's okay. And just knowing that this is something that like you can use and use to like make your life be more balanced and better. And like, this is something you can work on and improve. It doesn't have to just be this thing that defines you and is static. It's something that can change and, you can learn to use.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I would just say, just talk to people. Like, there's like nothing wrong with just like, just being open and honest with someone. Like even a few days ago, we were literally just all in a circle in a garage being like, we all have different like, OCD habits, and like we're going around comparing them, and like you can make light of it, not like, making fun, but like it's okay to like, relate to people like that. It makes it feel more normal. Like, oh, this is how you deal with that. This is how I deal with it. And in talking with people, you kind of like build each other up, you kind of develop a support system. And again, the biggest thing for me is just like, if you ever need anything, you can always go out to the people who are close to you, and they'll always be there. Like, you'd be surprised how open people actually are.
Thanks for all that, guys. I appreciate that. I know other people will too. So I know a lot of you guys have been in a lot of different projects over the years, reinvented yourselves in a lot of different ways. I was wondering what keeps you coming back, and what keeps you, like playing music in the Southeast Michigan scene? Like, why do you guys keep starting different projects, and what keeps it going for you?
You have anything?
I mean, I'm not from Michigan.
Oh yeah, well Ryan's from Florida. It's a little different down there if you guys don't know. But what keeps you going is just like I've never felt like there was anything else I was supposed to be doing. Like there was a time where when my last band before this, we broke up and everybody was getting older, turning into adults, having responsibilities. And I was like, okay, well maybe it's time to like get a 9-to-5 job, just live the normal life. And I hated it. It was awful. I mean, like, yeah, you got to pay the bills. I mean, we all still have jobs, but I mean, it just didn't feel right not having that creative outlet like Ryan was talking about earlier. And like I said before, music has always been a constant in my life. So it was kind of like a very big source of anxiety not doing anything about it,
Yeah, I think for me, what keeps me going is like it's an opportunity for me to explore more of myself. It's an opportunity for me to address like the guy on stage is very different than the guy off stage. Why is that? Who is that person? Why don't I let him out more often? You know what I mean? And like getting to the opportunity to like do that in a safe and creative way that like, we get a lot of validation and like trust from fans when we go to shows and we like, you put yourself out there and people come back and are like really, really into it. And you're kind of out there, they don't see it, but like you're out there putting out a version of yourself that you seldom let other people see, and they're cheering for you. That is so liberating. Like, how could I ever stop? You know what I mean? Exactly.
I'm going to go with all the people, because like you'd be kind of surprised like how, I mean, shocker, like there's a bunch of very unique people like in the music scene. But it's like I've met like some of my closest friends now like through the music scene, and that's going all the way back like almost 10 years now. And like, yeah, and like I'm all of us, and like I can't imagine like anything else and like not having these people in my life. And like I'm excited to even see more of them tonight. So yeah, it's just like a fun little community.
A couple more questions. So what's one thing that you guys have learned? It could be either about yourself or about each other since you guys have started this band. Is it playing with each other, writing music?
I would say family. Yeah. You guys feel good about that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. So like I've been in a lot of bands myself, and to give a little story of how we met, we were on a tour this past summer, and any single time I've been around these guys, they were the most nicest. Like they just felt like brothers to me. So like when they asked me to join, I was like, "There's no other band I'd rather play for than these guys." So,
Hell yeah. What was the question? Too much. Gotcha. Okay. Well, to touch on what Aaron said earlier, the person on stage is very different from the person off stage, and I've discovered that, I keep using the word weird, but like it just makes me feel more comfortable in just being like, an odd person. I've always been like that kind of like odd person. I've had a weird sense of humor my whole life, and this creative expression is just let me harness that more. And the things I've learned about the other guys is just like we joke about this a lot. We are a hive mind, and we think it's just completely asinine that is we all found each other, because we're all exactly the same but so different at the same time. I feel like we're very similar in the fact that we take all of this very seriously, and we work hard. But at the same time, like outside of the band, we all have very similar interests. Like we're big nerds. We love Star Wars. We play D&D, and it's just really been easy to become such a close knit like family because of that.
Yeah, I feel like something I've learned basically is just like how to trust other people. I mean, this is Ryan was a little kid dreaming about being in a touring band and like playing with other bands that like we now look up to, and like Steven has that, and Crispy has it, and Andrew has it, and I have it. Like we all trust each other with that little kid's dream. Like Ryan holds that like 12-year-old Aaron's dream in his hands every time he gets on stage. You know what I mean? Like, but we all do that for each other. And so to like be that vulnerable, and like for me as like a certified OCD control freak, having the opportunity to have like competent people who I can trust that I know like I don't have to do everything, and neither do they, because we all are going to contribute and all, do what we need to do. Like learning that is just like being able to let go has been really cool.
Heck yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Somewhat, I guess, piggybacking off of Steven's answer is I'd have to say everyone's work ethic. Like if someone says they're going to do something, like they always do it. And the drive that these guys have is something that like I've actually always admired. And I think we kind of feed off each other with that, where it's like, if like one of us is just like, working on something constantly, it's like, well, like I got to catch up, like what can I do? So like each of us kind of have that like natural drive to kind of like go forward, do the next thing, or like take that initiative. And I really admire that about each of them. Also, Andrew's a genius with tech. I have no idea where we'd be without Andrew. So shout out to Andrew.
Andrew's soldering something right now.
All right, so you guys, I know you guys just released a new single, "Hate Me Like You Mean It," yesterday. Where can people find you at?
I mean, I'm pretty sure you can find us everywhere. I mean, we're on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. Plainviewofficial.com is our website. What else do we have? I think we're on Amazon Music as well. Pandora, yeah, we're everywhere. MySpace is a thing? No, we don't have a MySpace.
What are we doing?
We should have a MySpace. How are we not capitalizing on that? No, Gmail all the way. No AOL.
All right, so one last thing I want to know. Do you guys have any big goals for the future as a band? Anything we should look forward to, keep our eyes and ears open for?
We want to get around the country as much as possible. We want to try and hit so many places. I mean, we've already got 2 dates in New York scheduled with Boys of Fall. Those are going to be really fun. We got one in Brooklyn, New York, one in Amityville, New York. I hope we can go and stop and see the Amityville house. But I really want to try and hit some more East Coast places. We want to try and come down to Florida, since Ryan's from Florida. We've got tons of music that we're planning on releasing this year, but I'd say our main goal is just getting out there and meeting new people, playing for new people.
Well, it was great talking to you guys. Good meeting you guys. Yeah. Good luck at the show tonight. Hell yeah.